Hey everyone, my name is Adam. Some folks were struggling with the banking project, and so I thought I'd try to um, help a little bit. So why don't we, here's the week 5 banking project. We're gonna download this project and open it up. And here's the data inside of this. Here's the customer data. And you can, first thing it asks us to do is on the customer data sheet, use the text to columns feature so each of the 10 data fields has its own column. So you select all this data and you find text to columns right here. Click next. It has a comma as the separator. And go ahead and hit finish. And now we have all this data in columns. Yay. You should put column labels over the top of this stuff. This is a dollar amount, so format this as dollars, right? This is a number. Put labels over the top of all these things. And it also asks us to break this up into a first name and last name. So insert 2 new columns here. And first and last. And then you're going to write functions right here using something like the mid or the left of this, and you'll search. You can use the search function or the find function to find the first space and grab the left and right. And there were practice functions for us to do these things, and so you'll be able to do that pretty straightforward. On the customer data sheet, use logic functions to calculate the rate that will be offered. Okay. So in A2, it says to go ahead and put starting interest rate. You see that right here. The starting rate is 4.25%. So we'll put 4.25% like it says right there. And you format these things correctly. This would probably be a explanatory note, and this would be a an input of some sort. Okay. And then it gives you 1, 2, 3 rules to figure out how to do this. It looks like they got rid of one of the rules. It had New Jersey in there. You don't have to calculate the New Jersey one. And so the way I solve these sort of problems is I break each rule into a different if statement. And so I'm going to put them right here like this. So as an example, it says the loan amount is over $400,000, subtract 1%. So equals if the loan amount is greater than 400,000. And what I'm going to do is subtract 1. So I'm going to mark this as negative 1% and 0. And I have a problem right there. And then so then you'd write another one for between, and you'd use an if and then an and inside of it, right? To do the second one, it says you'd subtract negative 0.5%. okay, or 0. And so you'd write a function like that right there with the 400,000 and greater than 400,000 or less than 400,000 and over 175,000. Okay. And it looks like they also, yeah, 20 years or less. Okay. So you can take these functions right here, these things, and you can, what I do is I would write that function here, I would write the next function here, and then under 100,000 here. And then I would do a sum like this, and I would sum the original, the B2, right, which would be this number over here, the 4.25%, with the other functions right here. Okay. So the way I would do that, I would write my sum function. I would copy and paste essentially this function here, right? And I'd probably open up like Notepad or something and write it here equals a sum and this. And then we have to start with the B2, which contains the 4.25%, right? And that would be anchored. And then you add the other if statements inside of this to that, and that would add all those together, including the negatives, and give you an answer. Okay, so that's how I would solve this part here. Then you could get rid of those columns, and now you have that value there. The payment schedule part of this, if you go over here, right, so you're going to write the lookup right here for a name. You're going to do the data, use data validation, and we've done this multiple times now on the data tab. Do the data validation with a list, right, and the list would be customers using the full name from over here. I would create a named range for this right here. Called customers, okay, that whole list right there. And you could create a named range for, if we go back to the payment schedule and things it needs, the ID number, you can create that and then tie it to this, just like we've done on multiple previous ones, right? You do a VLOOKUP or an XLOOKUP or an index and match with these right here. And then the input amounts, you get these right here from it says 12 payments for a year, so you can hard code this number right here. The start date is the date of date is whatever today's date is. So you'd put equals today, right? Like that. The loan period in years you get from this data right here. This is the years column. So you'd put that in there. The annual interest rate is what you just calculated based on, it'll be in this column right here with all the sum of the ifs. The loan amount would be the loan amounts from this column, and you tie them all with the same sort of XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP or index and match, just change the column that you're looking for. And the rest of this and this right here is filled out exactly the way the payment schedule practice this week was done. You have all the data right here that you need for each one of these, and if you watch that video, it'll show you how to build the first row, build the second row, and once you have the second row, now you can copy all of this stuff down. Good luck this week. I know you can do it.